All right, so now that we went through the introduction of the why of Infusionsoft, let's start getting into Infusionsoft itself. And so this is one of my Infusionsoft apps for one of my businesses. The business is the Online Empire Academy .com, and this is probably my most active app that I have, and the most active business that uses Infusionsoft. And so what we're going to do is just take a quick look through Infusionsoft in general. And then we're going to go in the next section into more of the particulars of Infusionsoft. Then we're going to dive into the heart of Infusionsoft, which is the campaign builder. And lastly, we're going to go through and set up some campaigns. And at the end of this course, I'll take you through some of my campaigns that are a little bit more advanced, but it shows you exactly what you can do with Infusionsoft and how powerful it can be. Now, keep in mind, as we're going through all of this, we're not going to go into the nitty-gritty of the technical aspects of Infusionsoft. This course is primarily to get your mind turning and to get you, or mind churning, I should say, and to get you actually implementing the best parts of Infusionsoft into your business so you can start actually generating money. So that being said, we're going to focus more on how to use it as a sales machine, how to use it as a marketing machine. Okay, so it's not necessarily where we're going to go through every single little detail of the contact portion, the CRM portion, or the marketing portion, or e-commerce, but giving you real actionable stuff to use throughout this course. Okay, so with that, all that said and done, let's kind of go through a quick overview of Infusionsoft. So Infusionsoft has a number of different aspects to it. And if you go and you hover over the Infusionsoft logo, you'll see that there are several sections. You have the My Nav, which has your dashboard. You can search contacts. It has a little calendar type thing called My Day. We can even go to that real quick to show you what that looks like. I don't use this just because my particular business doesn't need this, but who knows? Your users might use it. You might use it. Personally, I do not, and I'm sure it's great, but I've just not had to use it. Next is the dashboard. That's where we were at before. Dashboard gives you can actually create some custom stats at the dashboard. Right now I have mine just showing the email and what that recent activity has been, usage stats, and so on. But you can actually go pretty nuts with this. In fact, I'll show you real quick one of my other ones. We'll log into. Actually, I could have just logged into from Infusionsoft. But here's another one that I have, and this one's pretty cool. It definitely, I use a lot more of the custom stats, so you can see like how many new leads we have. This is a relatively new app with a new business that we have, but recency ratings, we have frequency ratings, leads that are generated, how much revenue we have from this new business, how many are currently in a campaign, things like that. Pretty cool. What you can do with those custom stats, and the way you do that is you just go to this add widget area, and you can create your own custom statistics right here. You can do pipeline stages, things like that. I don't really go too crazy with that because that's not what makes me money. I mean, it does in a sense, but I focus mainly on the things that really directly make me money. All right, so keeping on going, we have the CRM portion. CRM portion contains the contacts, which we'll talk about that later. All the contacts, you can associate companies with your contacts depending on what kind of business that you're in, and then opportunities. This is where you're going to exploit opportunities based off of decisions that maybe somebody filled out a specific thing in a form, or a series of actions happened, things like that. So these opportunities, you can create these opportunities that pop up so that your staff can go and exploit those opportunities. Then referral partners, these are people who are referring people to your business. Very, very powerful stuff too as well. We'll talk about that later on. And then visitors, it's not really that important. Next, the heart of Infusionsoft, the campaign builder. Campaign builder is awesome, and we're going to go through that in a later video. Love it. It's awesome. In fact, I'll show you some of the campaigns we have. Each one of these are a different campaign, and with the campaign builder, it's actually a visual representation of, and I'll just show you one of these campaigns, and yours is not going to look like this if you're just starting out. I promise it'll look a lot less crazy, but this is just one campaign out of the entire campaign builder I have. And oops, take that off, and you'll see as we're going through this, see this is pretty crazy, and I'll take you through how this works maybe later. I might save this for an advanced course. But pretty crazy what you're able to do. But it's all visual. It's all visual, and we'll go through this. And you do not need something this complex in order to make a lot of money with Infusionsoft, I promise. So, and like I said, each one of these are campaigns just like that one. Okay. Next, we have our email broadcasts where you can send emails, you can send voicemails, you can send paper mail, you can do a whole bunch of different things. Lead generation, that's all your different lead sources, things like that. Your templates that you use for voice or your templates that you use for emails, things like that. Probably not going to go too much into that, just because the campaign builder does a really good job of that. And like I said, we're worried more about how to make sales in this particular thing. Then the e-commerce side, this is where you're actually going to set up all your e-commerce stuff, obviously. Your products. I'll show you some of the products we have. You can do actions based off of when someone buys something, and we'll talk about that too later on. But this is where you can manage your shopping cart. You have your themes. You have your order forms. Order forms and your shopping cart are two different things. Here's a bunch of order forms that I have. We might talk about those later as well. But here are a bunch of different products that we have. These are all your products. You can add pictures. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. And each time someone, the great thing about the e-commerce stuff, here, let me get back to where I'm supposed to be, is that you can associate actions with things that happen. So if someone buys a specific product, you can have things automatically happen. Or if someone buys a product just in general, you can have things automatically happen. And I'll show you some of the stuff that you can do with that and why that's important. And so you're going to see, depending on your app, you might not actually have all of this stuff. Depending on what version you have or what tier pricing you're paying, you might not have all of this. Okay, but you're going to see this legacy stuff here. And that's the stuff from the old Infusionsoft that they still keep in there. Now, one thing that I want to warn you is that sometimes even though a legacy thing might be the only way to do something, you want to be very, very careful in using this legacy stuff because they get rid of them sometimes. And so that means that you could be working on something for hours, setting something up in legacy, which is a lot harder to do than just using the campaign builder. Spend all those hours and it actually not work, say 6 months down the road because they changed something, okay? And then you have your administrative stuff that we'll talk about. There's one place where we're going to look at custom fields that is in the admin center. That's pretty important. But that's the general overview of Infusionsoft. It's not super complicated, and I promise you, you're actually going to see that it's not complicated even with all of the automation stuff. So next up, we're going to go through some of the particulars of Infusionsoft. See you then.